Hello everyone. Welcome back to me, Captain Cynical. Now the Super Bowl is just finished up, and I know what most of you are thinking. You don't care about the outcome. I know a lot of you were rooting either for the Eagles, but most of you were voting against the Patriots. That means you're not going to care about it in a week from now. So let's go to the one thing that you will keep seeing and you will remember, which is the commercials. Now my name is Captain Cynical. I'm meant to be cynical. I don't want you to think that that's all I can do, so I want to start off by talking about some of the better commercials from yesterday, and then we'll go into some of the more garbage commercials. We're going to start with one that I wasn't a particularly big fan of, but I know a lot of you were, and that's the Tide ads. The one thing that the Tide ads did was they kept you thinking, and the entire time people were making jokes about, is this a Tide ad? Oh, the Super Bowl is just one big Tide ad. And what it did was it kept bringing you back to the focus, which is Tide. Now you have that brand in your mind because they have shown it to you, and then they will try to put it in different places. They shoved it into an Old Spice commercial. They shoved it into a Budweiser commercial. They shoved it into a medication commercial, and then they also shoved it into the Mr. Clean commercials. So it started off with one scene, and then it jumped to another that was related to Tide. The thing that was awesome that they did with this was that the Old Spice and the Mr. Clean products both fall under P&G products, and P&G is the company that owns Tide. So not only were they able to show Tide, they were able to use some of the trademarks from their other products and bring them into one big thing. So it kept making you see their products, and knowing it was a Tide commercial, you knew that it was Tide, and you kept thinking about it the entire game. No one knew when it was going to come. When the Budweiser hit, no one was expecting the Clydesdale to turn into a Tides commercial. That was just really, really well executed. The next one kind of speaks for itself. Eli Manning and Odell Beckham Jr. doing the Dirty Dancing lift was actually hilarious, and I'm not even that big a fan of football celebrations. I don't watch that much, but it was just fun to watch, and it kept you invested. I don't care if you like the Giants, I don't care if you like those players, it was something that was very, very cool to watch. Now we're going to start jumping into some of the commercials that I thought were more trash than anything else. And the first one we're going to look at is Verizon. Verizon's commercial had a lot of different elements of just showing people doing extraordinary things. It showed people in uniform helping other people. It showed people that had been helped by either a police officer, fireman, someone in that kind of industry, someone that is known for helping people. It showed them calling and just saying thank you, and it was them explaining that they had changed their life, they had saved their life, they had done something extraordinary, and that it was just one big thank you.
Quincy Fire Department, Lieutenant Ray speaking.
My name is Cedrica. About 4 years ago, a fire broke out in my apartment building, and you were the first responder who was able to pull me up out of it.
Oh my God, you kind of caught me off guard here.
And the commercial was meant to pull at some heartstrings. What it did was it made people think about it, and it made people be like, wow, that is very nice. Verizon does supply a great service. But you don't see your water utility creating a commercial talking about the fact that they're the ones that create or put the water through the fire hose, or they're the ones that supply the water for someone that needs medical attention. They're not. You don't have your electric utility coming on, and you don't have them talking about the same shit that Verizon was talking about. It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason that Verizon deserves that credit and another company doesn't. What they do should not be rewarded, it should be expected. So the fact that they are trying to get some sort of reward for a basically commodity product at this point makes them look shallow, arrogant, narcissistic, and honestly moronic. It's awful. The next commercials that I'm going to talk about are from the parent company of Anheuser-Busch. Now, Anheuser-Busch owns Budweiser and Stella Artois, and I'm going to talk about Budweiser first. Their commercial was not the typical Clydesdales. The Tide ad was more of a Clydesdale commercial than Budweiser's. And what Budweiser did was they went and talked about the fact that they had donated so many cans of water to hurricane relief this year. They stopped production in one of their plants, and they stopped producing beer, and they started creating water. It's a very, very great thing. I'm very glad that it happened. What makes you think that this company is just continuously thinking about themselves is the fact that in this commercial there were images and images and images of them in the plant that is now producing water. So that means the second that the hurricane hit anywhere and they started producing water, they got they got someone into those factories to film that they were producing water. They weren't immediately going, oh wow, let's do this great deed. They were immediately going, how can we use this to boost sales? And I know that a business is supposed to make money. That's what businesses do. That's why we buy their products, because they want money and because they do a good job. Now, but I don't think that doing a good thing necessarily has to be as rewarded as it seems like they're trying to make it. Whenever these hurricanes hit, Amazon, Facebook, Google, Apple, there's plenty more. They all donated, and it kind of went under the radar because they didn't immediately give some sort of relief. Instead, they donated money. And I think that's perfectly acceptable to give money, and I think that's very wanted and very needed and very helpful. What Anheuser-Busch did, again, very helpful. They delivered water to an area that would like and needed water. And that's great. The issue was the fact that they decided to go back and use this as a way to try to increase sales. They don't want to help them unless they get some reward from it. And I think that that's actually emphasized in the Stella Artois commercial that I'm going to talk about next. Stella Artois used water.org, which was co-founded by Matt Damon, and Matt Damon was actually featured in this commercial. And what they talked about was the fact that some people have to travel 6 hours to get clean water in some underdeveloped countries, which is super unfortunate. It's a tragedy. We should try to work to fix that. I absolutely agree. Now, what Stella Artois did was, instead of deciding to donate a portion of their sales from their standard beer sales, or donate a lump sum, just like all the companies that I listed before for other relief, what they decided to do was make an expensive chalice. And if you buy one of these chalices, you can have a portion of the proceeds going to water.org and helping these underdeveloped countries. So what you have to do is you have to buy one of these chalices, which is $13. $13 for one glass, and then they will donate about 1/4 of the proceeds, $3.13, to water.org. And that will help to give one person clean water for 5 years. So, what they have in place right now is you have to buy one of these glasses, and then once you buy them, they'll donate money. The reason that I think that's an issue is these glasses are definitely, they're sold at a premium. They look very nice. They have the Stella Artois logo, and they are designed by women from the countries that they're representing, which are Mexico, India, and the Philippines. Again, all of this so far sounds great. No one would think that there's a problem. But there is the problem whenever these glasses are being sold for $13 and only 1/4 of the actual proceeds are going to that cause. The reason that that is kind of an issue is when, if you look at Bed Bath & Beyond and you look at how much it costs to get 12 different wine glasses, it is $9.99. So the issue that I see with this is, if you buy a $13 glass, 1/4 of the proceeds go there, but then that still leaves almost a $10 revenue from that. So they're donating 1/4 of it, but then they're keeping the other $10 for one glass. Now, I know that this glass is going to cost a little bit more to make than your standard off-the-shelf Bed Bath & Beyond wine glass, or just a standard wine glass period. It would cost much more to make it. But in the grand scheme of things, if you're going to make X amount, which their number is 300,000 because that's the cutoff, they're buying it in such bulk that I don't know what the exact profit that they're going to get from these glasses are, but it's going to be way more than they're donating. It's a big publicity stunt that really, there's a better way to do this than trying to bring people to buy your products in that way. The end total, if there are only 300,000 of these sold, and they're only donating $3 per, it'll average to about $1 million. That's the same amount that the other companies were donating during other times of crisis. If they really wanted to make a difference, wouldn't it have made more sense to just donate a bulk $1 million and just know that your money's going to a good cause and have that be enough? Why do you need it to be something related to publicity? Why do you need to do something to make you look better? Why can't you do something to help the greater good? I have one more commercial that I had a big issue with, but right now I would like to look at one more that I liked a lot, which is the M&M commercial. They had Danny DeVito, they had the red M&M turn into Danny DeVito as a real person, and he went around asking people if they wanted to eat him. Honestly, it's a really weird premise, but just seeing Danny DeVito in anything is hilarious, especially when the premise is him going around asking people to eat him.
Do you want to eat me?
It was just fun to watch. It was something that I would watch again, and it was something that was one of the more memorable ones of the actual Super Bowl commercials. The last garbage commercial that I'm going to talk about is my personal least favorite, Rams commercial. The issue that I have with this commercial is the fact that they try to use Martin Luther King, and they try to use a bunch of people that have done extraordinary things, and they have just layered the Dodge Ram logo on top of it. It's very similar to the Verizon's commercial. Ram did not do anything extraordinary. It was the people that did something extraordinary. Yes, Ram, just like Verizon, has allowed them to go through with these extraordinary things, which in itself is very helpful. But automobiles are just as commodity as anything else. They're something that most people need in every circumstance. There's no reason for Ram to get just as much credit as these other people. To me, it seems like it's just another corporation trying to come in and get credit for what other people are doing, when really they're not doing anything themselves, they're just kind of there. The only thing that they did is got these extraordinary people to where they needed to be. Any car could do that. Your car is not special. Don't take credit. The commercials this year were absolute garbage. What bothers me the most is that when I look through the comments of a lot of the videos that I'm criticizing, a lot of people seem to like them, and I don't understand it. I get it if it's because they're pulling at the heartstrings, but that's not because the company has done anything extraordinary, it's because the people have. Give credit to the people, don't give credit to the company.